Welcome to Health IQ. I'm Dr. Alan Siegel, your host. Today we have a very special guest, Nick Cerrone. Nick is the fitness director at the gym in Armonk, New York. Nick holds multiple national fitness certifications. He's also trained Olympic athletes and Division I athletes. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you,
Nice
Alan.
to meet you. I understand there's a lot of different types of training that goes out in the field, but people don't understand what it is that they can do to help themselves. So when you heard the term aerobic training versus resistance training, can you describe the two differences?
Sure. Aerobic training is basically cardiovascular type training. And so it's like running on the treadmill, running outside, using ellipticals, bikes, step mills, any type of equipment that's going to get your heart rate up and keep it at a consistent level for an extended period of time. Resistance training, on the other hand, is actually using a weight band cable system to actually put stress on the muscle tissue so it actually stimulates, hopefully, growth.
So you're looking to build lean body mass. Now, what's the difference when you're trying to deal with target heart rate? Which form of exercise would get your heart rate up? The aerobic exercise would help with that?
Actually, both do, just to a different extent. Aerobic exercise gets you up to your target heart rate at a steady state, keeps you at a target heart rate, and you want to maintain your target heart rate either in a fat burning zone, which is a lower heart rate, or an aerobic training zone, which is more for athletes.
Okay.
Resistance training is more of like what's called interval training. Interval training is more or less, it spikes your heart rate up for a short period of time, and then your heart rate starts to come down gradually once you stop the activity.
Okay, is there any misconceptions in the field of fitness and health that aerobic is better than anaerobic or resistance training?
Absolutely.
In terms of like losing weight and getting more fit?
Both actually help you lose weight, it's just in different methods. Aerobic training, you basically, during aerobic training, you burn a lot of calories depending on the amount of time you're on the machine for or outside running for. So say you're running outside for 2 to 3 miles, you'll burn X amount of calories depending on what your heart rate is. Resistance training is actually in my opinion, is a better method for burning calories because not only are burning fat, what it does is you're increasing your body's lean muscle mass. When you increase your body's lean muscle mass, you actually increase your body's metabolism. When you increase your body's metabolism, you're actually burning more calories at a resting state. So say you and I were sitting here just talking right now, say we were ideally the same body weight, same height, same age, same everything. If, say, I'm 200 pounds, you 200 pounds, we just sitting here talking, I'm burning, if my body fat's at 10% and your body fat's at 6%,
lean body mass,
right. Exactly, you will be burning more calories at rest than I would be.
Okay, so the idea of building lean body mass is very important to helping patients or clients as you would train them to actually increase their metabolism, which in the long run will help them lose and maybe maintain their weight better.
Exactly. You've watched the show The Biggest Loser, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, we've all seen various shows.
People are very overweight. They're 300-400 pounds coming in. They lose 20 pounds a week. That's actually a very unhealthy. They're going from eating 6,000 or 7,000 calories a day in their normal daily lives and exercising 0. So what they tend to do, they're medically supervised diets that actually they're reducing their calories down to 1,200 calories a day or less, or whatever the doctor on staff is doing.
So it's too caloric restrictive is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
So they're actually burning both fat and muscle tissue because most of the training they're doing there, they're just trying to keep their heart rate elevated and burn a lot of calories.
Okay.
That's where the common misconception with the media comes from, is that basically if the more calories you burn or the more you work out and the less you eat, the more weight you lose. Completely false. What tends to happen is the more you work, as a novice, that's actually true, sorry.
But you need the energy to keep burning more.
Exactly.
Though, right?
As you become more fit, like say for the first year or so, you're losing weight by exercising maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, doing a lot of cardio, doing a lot of some aerobics classes. Then you move on to doing maybe a little bit of weight training, not too much. What happens is once you get past a certain amount of time, your body becomes acclimatized to that type of training, and you actually need to start feeding your body more fuel, more calories.
So as you get more lean body mass, you need more calories to help sustain that lean body mass.
Exactly.
Okay? And then what happens is people try and starve themselves too quickly, and then they lose lean body mass. This really defeats part of the purpose. So incorporating the resistance training, from what I'm understanding, is helping that body increase their metabolism, build a lean body mass, so they can actually keep a caloric intake that's a little bit higher and still lose weight.
Exactly.
Okay, so now does it make sense to do both? I mean, to have some kind of mixed program, I mean, one versus the other, or you need really a really integrated program?
It's best to do both, honestly, because you need the cardiovascular or the aerobic training for your cardiovascular health to keep your heart healthy, nice and healthy, and you need the resistance training to help keep your lean body mass up. Nobody wants to be, lose 100 pounds and be flabby. That's what a lot of these people on we go back to The Biggest Loser, what their show is. They come out on stage and they have very loose skin because they've lost so much weight so quickly that their muscle tissue hasn't caught up, that their skin is too loose from being heavy for all those years. Their skin hasn't had a chance to kind of like tighten up. You want to lose weight slowly.
Slowly, right?
Like 1 to 2 pounds a week, if you can, is optimal.
And that's why you hear all these crash diets and all these like, we'll lose 15 pounds in a week kind of gig. You know, you're not buying into that, right? I mean, it's not in a healthy manner, at least, right?
It's a temporary fix, because once you get off those diets, you're going to bounce right back and then probably gain an extra 2 to 3 pounds from the extra calories you're introducing back into your diet.
Yeah, and building lean body mass, you know, people start to look better. Like I said, it's not you know, skin that they lose and water weight that they're losing. So it's a matter of, you know, look and feel. So if you have a new client and you know, you're starting with them fresh, and let's say they have a goal of 20 to 30 pound weight loss, I think what happens with a lot of people is they may come to a fitness facility like the gym, and they start, you know, getting on the treadmill and trying to go like an hour straight, and you know, maybe they peter out, or they get tired of doing it, or they're not seeing results. And the reason for that might be, you know, what you're describing, right? You probably see this all the time.
Yep, that, and they're impatient too. Yeah. It takes a while. It takes Rome wasn't built in a day, let's say. Yeah. So it takes months and months, and to do it safely and effectively. To have long-lasting progress and long-lasting weight loss, long-lasting muscle gain, you actually have to take your time and be patient. If you have a wedding in 2 months and you're expecting to lose 20, 25 pounds, it's unreasonable. Yes.
And so the integration, you know, resistance training, aerobic training, and then, you know, obviously we could talk about diet for probably, you know, another whole show, but sure. You know, how important is the diet? I mean, it's got to be critical to people trying to get fit.
Diet is 70% your gains, or your method. Basically, if you work out with a personal trainer, you work out maybe 5 hours a week on your own. There's 168 hours in a week. That's only 163 that are accounted for. You have 163 more hours in which you have to account for your sleeping habits, your eating habits, your drinking habits, and basically anything else you would do in your activities of daily living.
Okay. Now, in terms of trying to get a resistance routine into someone's program, some people are, you know, afraid of weights. They've seen dumbbells and barbells, and you know, guys lifting these heavy weights above their head, and you know, they're like, how can I get a resistance program that works for me? You know, that's, you know, terrifying for some people. You know, how would you work with someone like that, a client like that?
Well, me personally, what I would do is I'd kind of throw them to the wolves almost. I'd bring them in the weight room, and I assure people that it's not unsafe, it's not risky, it's not scary. It's actually more beneficial. Weight training is very beneficial to you. You increase your joint stability, you increase your muscle mass, you increase your strength. If you're a female, you decrease your risk of becoming osteoporotic. If you
as a medical, you know, as a chiropractor, we understand, you know, bones and strength and agility and tendons and ligaments are all important. So, you know, all of these things can be benefited from all the things we're speaking about, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's good. So just the client doesn't need to be intimidated by dumbbells, barbells. There's other methods, you know, like.
Oh, there's other methods. There's bands, there's cables, there's machines. There's any trainer you work with has a way of making you feel more comfortable with working out and doing resistance training. You can even use your own body weight. Okay. Lunges, squats, push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, sit-ups, those all work as well.
So things that you were using gravity essentially to help you, you know, gain lean body mass is always good. You know, some people just use, you know, chin-up bars and push-ups, and that was really their form of all their training back in, you know, maybe in the 50s and 60s. That's what they used to do. So
that's how I did when I was 12.
We didn't have these advanced machines that we have now, and these high-tech instruments and all these things, and you could really simplify it for a lot of people. So.
Oh yeah, I go by the method, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So. Whatever works for somebody, if you don't like the weight room for some reason, I can train you this another way and give you a better workout, and just using your body weight or using a band or a ball or anything. So and
you can make it fun that way probably for a lot of clients to, you know, help them, you know, work on their lean body mass building and, you know, explain the importance of that integrated approach. So now I know you're a specialist in this Kinesis. It's I don't know how new technology this is, but describe, you know, what it is. You know, we're gonna be able to take a look at that in a little bit, but you know, what is it, and you know, is it resistance training?
Kinesis is basically a combination. It combines aerobic training with resistance training. Different instructors teach it in different methods. Basically, it's been around for a while. It's a cable unit system that allows your body to move in its natural range of motion. So you're not limited by, like, say, a chest press machine, which you're going in and out.
Okay.
Or out and in. you can move your arm in your body in any direction you naturally move your body.
So it's three-dimensional, is it?
Exactly.
Is it like functional training? When they describe functional, would it be considered functional training, or it says some functional components too?
I actually don't like the word functional training because all training is functional in a way.
Right. Okay.
Whether it's a BOSU ball or flat on the ground, it's still you're still training for something.
Three-dimensional. Okay.
Kinesis actually incorporates the entire body. The way in the video, in which you all see in a little while, I incorporate with our guest there, Roseanne, basically the entire body in every exercise we do in the video. So you're incorporating the upper body, the lower body, the core, and of course the heart rate. Each station each exercise is actually timed for about 30 seconds to a minute. So your heart rate is constantly elevated, and your muscles are constantly getting fatigued because you're doing the same repetitive motion over and over again.
So you're actually doing an aerobic and resistance kind of combined program. So that's nice. So that even saves clients time, because I understand time for people is not always available, and working out, it becomes like sometimes not their priority, or their priority to squeeze in to do it. So time, as you know, for people, they want to have the time to do these. So anything that can be condensed would be great. So this sounds like a great program. So.
Great time saver, and it's a great quick workout.
So you can get your heart rate up to almost a target heart rate, would you say, or not quite, or just enough to keep it at a pretty steady rate in this type of training?
Depending on, exactly, you can definitely keep it up in say for an average person, you can definitely keep it up in the fat burning zone, or above the fat burning zone, to burn as many calories as you can during the half hour. And that's the goal. You want to burn as much calories as you can in the limited time that you have.
Yeah, make it an efficient program, and then as we spoke about, don't waste it by going off of the diet or the nutritional other components that you want. I think people have the misconception that the harder they work, the more they can eat, and I think that's where a lot of people fail. In some cases.
They definitely have to. I want to go out and have a Big Mac afterwards, but I would try to keep your diet as clean as possible, as healthy and nutritious as possible, and there are certain times where you can get away with actually eating, a bad thing here or there, like. Oh sure, yeah. But you don't want to do it on a consistent
none of
basis.
us are perfect. We all know that. We all have our little, snacks, our little, cheating foods. But the issue is that you see these caloric, menus now, and some of the items on these menus, you just can't believe how many calories are in some of these things. And at a very high-end workout, how many calories would you think someone could burn in like a 45-minute workout if they're really, busting their chops? How many calories are we talking about?
If they're really busting their butt and they're really motivated and really intense with their activity, they can burn up to 500 to 600 calories in 45 minutes or so.
And how long would that take them to replace that at McDonald's, you think? About 5 minutes.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, right.
Depending how fast they eat,
So my point there is that, people have to understand that, the working out, that's all a good effort, don't waste it, and that's why that integration, aerobic, resistance training, diet, those three components, if you handle all three of those, you're on your way to success. There's no doubt about it.
And the absolute best way for somebody to actually incorporate those is actually if they're going in the gym 4 days a week, go warm up on the treadmill for 5 or 10 minutes just to get your heart up, to get the blood pumping, get your muscles warm. Go do your resistance training, 45 minutes, half hour, then go and do your cardio for another half hour afterwards. What happens is your body's utilizing all its glycogen stores. Glycogen is their muscles' main fuel.
Okay.
You're utilizing that for the strength gains. Then when you go back to the cardio deck, you're actually going to burn off more fat calories. And fat calories is what you want to lose. You want to shed the fat, and you want to maintain the muscle mass.
All right, then do you want to replace food after you work out? Is it better after you work out to replace the glycogen stores or sugar, glucose essentially?
Yes, in order for the muscles to recover fully, you need to have both carbohydrates and proteins.
Proteins,
and I'm a big believer in post-workout nutrition, post-workout shakes.
Sure.
Like anything with oatmeal or a banana and protein is great.
You got to keep fuel in the body,
exactly,
and that's the main thing. Okay.
If you don't like shakes, go have grilled chicken and brown rice.
So we're going to take a look at this video in a second. In terms, we didn't mention stretching. In terms of lean body mass, is stretching important as well, pre or post exercise, in terms of resistance training?
Well, just for actual functionality and actually keeping yourself limber and not getting very stiff and walking like a robot, yes, I would actually do stretching afterwards, isometric stretching after you work out.
After you work out.
Yes.
Because your body's already warmed up, your body will probably respond better and get a better stretch and probably hold the stretch longer versus being a cold, person trying to stretch out, when you haven't limbered up your body, basically.
Yeah, and actually stretching before you work out, it's more geared towards athletic activity, like a sporting event. Isometric stretching before you work out actually limits the tension in the ligaments, so it actually can cause or increase the risk of somebody having, like an NFL running back having an ACL tear.
An injury, right? Yeah. And we don't want to see him in my office, so hopefully you're doing your job out there.
We want to keep him on the floor with us.
So. All right, so let's take a look at this Kinesis training. I think our viewers would be interested in seeing this type of training and show that you can actually do a very strong, very effective resistance type of workout with a little bit of aerobic and not be really intimidated. It's pretty straightforward. So let's take a look.
All right, absolutely.
Thanks. Okay, Nick, so we're at the gym in Ormond. We're going to take a look at this Kinesis machine. So tell us what you're demonstrating here with this client.
Basically what I'm demonstrating right now is the first station on the Kinesis station is called Alpha station. What I'm doing now is a chest press. The first movement was a chest press with a squat combination. The second movement was a lunge, isometric lunge with the right leg and isometric lunge with the left leg, and then still doing the chest press.
Okay, so she's basically utilizing more than one body part at one time, essentially. She's getting resistance training, even though the cables are, working her arms, she's working her legs and her other body. She's doing it properly.
Yep, she's using her chest muscles, her tricep muscles, her shoulder muscles, her abdominal muscles, in this position, her quad muscles.
Okay,
she's not low enough in the squat position to incorporate more of the.
And it looks like a system basically where it's up against a wall with these cables, like you said, and that's really where the resistance comes in. So, and if she were to kind of continue to do this exercise, sort of in a direct fashion or continuous fashion, she would basically be getting aerobic activity at the same time. Now she looks like a pretty fit woman, but she's getting a good workout though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's you'll see as we go on through the routine that she starts getting a little more tired. Even though this is not a true Kinesis workout, we kind of just do this for demonstration purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now a beginner could do this as well. I mean, obviously someone who's just starting out could also use this type of machine. You would just change the resistance, make things a little bit easier for someone to adapt to this type of technology.
Absolutely, this is great for people with injuries too, because it's low stress on the joints, low stress on the body, and you can adapt, like you said, you can adapt the machine to work multiple different body parts and different
And
angles.
what I like about just from viewing this is I like the fact that there's probably a low risk for injury here because you don't have to worry about flying dumbbells around, dropping things on your foot, or having something hit you in the head. It seems like it's a relatively safe manner of doing a resistance training, and it's controlled, which is also nice. And you can, once the client knows how to do it properly.
Exactly, the machine is very smooth, very like you said, very controlled, and as long as the person holds on to the handles, they're.
Okay, now it looks like you basically turned her around. Now she's able to work more back, posterior shoulders, some rhomboids, some other muscles in the back there.
Yep, some biceps also.
Biceps, okay, great. All right, and then she's
still incorporating the legs too, because her legs are probably burning more than her arms right now because she's just holding her body weight in that same position.
So you're combining, so you're really getting a full body workout, and you're only doing one exercise here.
Exactly. The more muscle mass you can incorporate in an exercise, the more calories you're going to burn. The more calories you're going to burn, the more weight you're going to lose.
Yeah, because instead of some people you see are they isolate one muscle group and they're only maybe working on. I mean, typically you're working more than one muscle anyway, but sometimes people are specifically trying to target one muscle group. But to me, this seems like a more efficient workout. So.
Very much so. If you're trying to lose weight and get in good shape, I wouldn't sit on the preacher bench and do bicep curls for half an hour. You want to do exercises like this, but incorporate a lot of muscle tissue and a lot of muscle mass.
Now, is this a beginner move she's doing? Is this something that
this is more of an advanced move? This is more of an advanced move. This is like a.
We don't want to intimidate people. We're trying to let people know this is an easy type of exercise routine that they can do, but that is an advanced move. And like I said, this particular person is a pretty trained athlete, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. We could have anyone from someone that never exercised before to someone of this caliber, basically.
Exactly. It's for beginners and the advanced trainer as well.
All right, so this exercise is doing what specifically? What was she trying to accomplish there? More shoulders or?
Working the posterior delt, the back, a lot of core activity.
Yeah, and again, it looks like you're incorporating so many different body parts here. And now it looks like you moved on to another station. So there's basically a wall of stations here, and you just kind of go through the various programs, right?
Yes, there's 4 different stations, and right now we're on the beta station, which is they have cables set up on the low pulleys, and she's doing what's called a squat, curl, and press. So she's incorporating the legs, the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, working the core because she's got to keep herself balanced.
Sure, absolutely.
And also doing the biceps and shoulders.
Yeah, I like the balance part of it. Again, looking from a doctor's perspective, you don't want to have injury, from working out. That defeats the purpose of you being there. So if you stay balanced and you're, centered and you're keeping your core strong, the chance of injury are less and less, which is what you're looking for. And I see you demonstrating this as well, keeping your back nice and straight. I'm bending forward, trying to not lift weights with your back, which is probably the worst idea anyone could ever do. I see it all the time, when we're at a fitness facility, people will bend without using their legs. And, you could tell our viewers what's the strongest muscles in our body,
It's the legs.
It's the legs, right? So if clients don't use their legs, like she's even demonstrating here, and she were just trying to lift from her back, she would be in my office tomorrow, unfortunately. So it's very important to teach people proper ergonomics in everything they do, including fitness, and that's why I'm very impressed with this program. So right here she's doing some more specific leg and arm. Again, it's a combination.
This is more of an advanced movement for the advanced trainers. It's very hard because you're holding the shoulders in isometric position as opposed to the legs.
Okay.
By doing that, holding the weight out in front, you're actually incorporating a lot of more core, especially when you're going up, descending, and ascending from the repetition.
Okay. Now this is a move you're trying to work some quadriceps lubatum here, or some external rotators.
Great for golfers.
Great for golfers. Yeah, it looks like a golfer.
Yeah. Baseball players, softball. It's any activity where you're going to be rotating, like swinging at a ball. It's fantastic. So
we're working on all the rotation muscle of the body. Now, the one thing I have to say here is, in my line of work, we tell people flexion combined with rotation a lot of times can lead to injuries. If you can imagine someone taking, a tire out of a car, a lot of times people will, lift with their back and then flex and then rotate. What I liked about that maneuver is that her back is always stabilized, and she's keeping her back straight. She's still rotating, but she's not lifting from her back. She's using her legs.
Exactly.
So I think the fact that, as a trainer, that is so critical that you instruct your clients to continually use their legs and not use their spine.
Absolutely right.
I think that's very important. So again, another nice part of this routine. And now you just have her basically doing it in a reverse manner. So
on the other side, it's basically, you're absolutely right with the lifting, jerking motions. Most people get injured when they're picking up a pencil off the floor as opposed to picking up 400 pounds off the floor. So
yeah, exactly.
Because they're not thinking about the actual what they should be doing, the movement.
When you're dealing with more weights and more weight out in front of your body in a flex position without using your legs is a recipe for disaster. So again, I like the posture, I like the ergonomics of this type of training, and I think it's it's great. Even if people are using barbells and dumbbells, and sometimes you see them, they're jerking, they're off balance, they look like they're going to fall over, and it's not it's not good. So this is
form
great.
Is key. So it's better to do the lighter weight with proper form than heavy weight with no form.
And I think that's important to note, because a lot of people sometimes they poo-poo training. They're like, I don't need to train. I know what I'm doing. I could do it myself. I'm gonna, I've done this. I've done that. I was an athlete here.
Then they're in your office.
Yeah, and then then you find out that they're not doing things properly, and they hurt themselves, and they've been doing things improperly for years, or they're developing muscles, antagonistic and protagonistic muscles, and their quads are strong, their hamstrings are weak, leads to other problems, hyperextension of the knees, and all different health problems. So I think the balance is so critical, and I think trained trainers understand that, and especially newer clients are trying to find new routines essentially, and haven't really worked out or exercised in many years. I think that's critical. So this is like an interesting routine here. She's working abdominals, shoulders, and legs, or what is that going on there?
Yep, abdominals, posterior deltoids, a little bit of back biceps, and an isometric hold on the left quadricep, actually. So she's getting a combination of everything.
Okay, so it looks like she's really doing a lot here. So again, it's a really integrated approach, and it seems like if you keep going through the stations without a break, like here, she's switching right to the other side, and your heart rate's got to get going. I mean, it's not like you're stopping in between. You just keep moving through the routine. So that's
like I said, this is an abbreviated routine. If we did this for the full 30 minutes that the Kinesis allotted, she would have probably petered out on the last station pretty quickly. So she's definitely working.
How quick can someone get through this? Basically, you said about 30 minutes. They can get a pretty 30
minutes is all you need on this apparatus. So it's.
Yeah, so it's very efficient, very, okay, that's great. And like you said, even though we're using somewhat of two trained athletes here, obviously, a beginner can basically learn to use this very simply.
Yep, as long as you have a proper trainer showing you how to do everything properly. At the gym in Armonk, what we do, nobody is allowed to use
this
apparatus without a trainer.
Okay, so it is trainer specific.
It is trainer specific.
Well, that would make sense because
exactly.
These exercises, while they're simplified to some degree, if no one knew how to use this, they would probably maybe hurt themselves. So and we don't want that. So
great potential in that. Yes.
As simple as you make it, it's still there's always a risk factor. So I see you have a physio ball here now. So you're incorporating some other modalities into the exercise routine. So. Looks like she's going to be doing some kind of tricep routine or.
Well, right now she's going to be doing the first exercise is basically a crunch, and as you see, the weight's pulling her back, so it puts a little more tension on the abdominals.
Okay, so it's abdominal, right?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
So there's 4 different exercises we're doing on this physio ball. The first one, as I said, is the crunch. Then we're going into like a bench press type movement, so she's working the chest, the shoulders, and triceps again. And the third movement will be if I remember, it's a tricep movement. So it's you bring the padded handle down to her forehead and extending up. And the last one is a back movement she'll be doing.
Now, would you have someone do an aerobic routine in addition on the same day as this, or is it not necessary, or could it be, or could it not be, or it doesn't matter? It depends on what they're.
It actually depends on how much instruction you have to give the person.
Yeah.
For beginners, I take it a little bit slower so they can get the movements down and the form down and get everything proper and get everything right, so they don't risk injury, and so they're getting the most benefit out of it. It all depends. It's person specific. I personally. I would probably do maybe 20 minutes of cardio afterwards just to get an extra benefit. But if I'm doing the session, I don't let them rest anyway. So
right, you just let them keep going through.
Make them go and push them hard.
Yeah, I've heard routines that continuously keep the body going versus start stop, are better. Even if you're, like you said, incorporating resistance training. As long as you kind of keep that heart rate going throughout the program, you may not even need to spend that extra 30-40 minutes on the treadmill or on the bike or the elliptical because you've pretty much gotten your cardio part of it built into the resistance training. So you really kind of shorten the length of the program.
You're definitely making it more time efficient and more. Yeah. It's easier on you. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, you have to get your kids to practice or school or home or to and from school. It's very efficient to do this type of training because you get everything in one shot.
Yeah. And then you just get their dietary routines down and they're in good shape. Now you're doing some lower leg routines, so it's obviously a very full body, very comprehensive program. You see a lot of other equipment there in the background, but for resistance training. Now, just on a side note, do you have a preference, bike, elliptical, treadmills, in terms of what you instruct your clients to do for those things? I know we're seeing this Kinesis here, but some people, is it just more of what they like to do?
Basically, whatever they're going to do.
Right,
actually.
Exactly.
If they like to walk on the
treadmill. That's what I tell my clients. Well, what do you like to do? Because if you don't like it, you're not going to do it. So,
yeah, it's good to switch it up once in a while. Like if you did the treadmill for 3 days in a row, I would say move to the bike for a day or two, just because your body will adapt to the treadmill, and you don't want it to. You want to always keep the body guessing. That's how you prevent it from adaptation. When your body adapts is when you stop making progress.
Okay, so the Kinesis as a resistance form, is recommended for some of your clients, but really the point of the whole show is that resistance training needs to be incorporated into programs for people to really achieve their goals, to increase lean body mass. That's where we're at, right?
Absolutely. As anybody who wants to lose body weight or lose body fat and get in the best shape of their life, they need to incorporate all aspects of training. They need to do their resistance training, they need to do the aerobic training, and they have to do it in the proper order, actually, to get the best benefit. I mean, it's not going to kill you if you do aerobics trainings first, but you'll limit your strength gains and the actual muscle gains you will receive from strength training if you do the aerobic training first.
And we highlighted this, Kinesis, because we had a nice demo of it. I was impressed with the equipment over at the facility. But there are other forms, obviously. We spoke about using your own body weight, gravity, dumbbells, free weights, even machines.
You can use a kitchen chair and you can use a stair at your house if you're bored. If you can't get to the gym, or if one of those days it snows outside, you don't have any equipment, you can use a can of soup, you can use a gallon of water, a gallon of milk. You can use, if you have a young child at home, you can use them. There's different, anything that's weighted, you can use to stimulate the muscle tissue
and sometimes maybe mixing up routines is probably not a bad idea either, because even, your body, you want to try and use different muscle groups. I know if I play one sport one day and I try and go play another sport another day, I feel sore in totally different areas that I did before, because different muscles get activated with different movements. So,
if you take somebody like our guest in the video, who is typically a weight training athlete, she doing the Kinesis, the next day she came in and she said, "Wow, I was pretty sore from that." Even though it was an abbreviated program, like I said in the video, it's different, and she's not used to it, so she felt sore in different areas.
You're engaged,
it's good.
Yeah, so maybe having a well-balanced routine of doing various types of programming. And again, you know, having someone educate you and train you and you know, come up with intelligent ways of working out, because nobody wants to waste their time. Nobody wants to not get results. And you know, the gym is one of those things where people tend to fall off, or the fitness routines tend to kind of get put on the side because maybe they've gotten discouraged, and there's probably reasons for it, and they're just not understanding why. So
the idea is to work out smarter, not harder.
Exactly. So you want to maximize your effort while you're there. See the results. If it is weight loss, some people just need to maintain. Some, you know, there's also highly trained athletes that need to just get stronger, better, faster, and want to keep getting, you know, improved. So it's just a matter of you know, what the goal of the client is, and you know, kind of understanding each and every goal of the client. So, and then as we discussed, diet. Just to summarize here, it's not just about getting to the gym, because you can, you know, wipe out what you did in a good routine in a couple bites of a Whopper. So
you are what you eat. So if you wanna look like $1 million, you gotta eat.
Nutrition is very important.
Exactly.
And, you know, and then hydration. You know, we didn't really speak about hydration much, but you know, increasing your water is obviously
water is a must, especially when you're working out.
Especially with the workout.
Before, during, and after.
Yeah. So Nick, I want to thank you for being on the show. I think it was very educational, and you know, we try and help our viewers make intelligent choices when they're looking at their health and their wellness routines and their lifestyles, and I think they're going to find this very informative. So thanks for coming on the show, and we hope to have you another time. Thank you.
Love to be back.
Thanks.